For some franchises, the games just keep on coming, and coming, and coming. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 video game franchises with the most games.
Bumblebee! Yeah, it's a hit!
For this list, we'll be taking a look back at the franchises in gaming known for their expansive backlogs. They've got many games under their belt, and they're bound to have more in the future.
I've got a bad feeling about this place.
Just because a franchise seems to release a new game every year doesn't mean they'll be making this list. You know who you are.
Where the hell are you?
We're leaving off game franchises based on licensed properties, such as Star Wars, and franchises that rely on re-releasing the same game, like Tetris. Number 10. Resident Evil. Survival horror certainly hasn't seen a long runner like this. As one of Capcom's flagship franchises, this mashup of B-movie horror and adventure game style puzzles has endured for nearly 20 years.
Believe it or not, it takes quite a lot of money.
It's also resulted in more than 30 games under the Resident Evil name, ranging from classic horror to on-rail shooting and third-person gunplay, all the way down to that one Game Boy Color game that no one likes to talk about. Yet, the series' love of grotesque mutants, widespread conspiracies, and clever puzzles endures to this day. Number 9. FIFA. Time to kick around the ball, again and again. Starting in 1993 with FIFA International Soccer, this game series, intended to simulate association football, has come into its own as a long-lived brand, spanning well over 30 titles across 39 consoles.
Good header, good clearing header. Fair distance to the clearance. Well, the goalkeeper.
And if you're more into the organizational / taking bribes sort of thing, you can always try the increasingly popular Manager series. You need not worry about the main series though. Yearly releases ensure that no one will have too long to wait before the next game.
And he swerved it into the net. Fantastic goal.
Number 8. Might and Magic. Well past the 40 game mark and still going, Might and Magic, a role-playing game franchise, distinguished itself from other series in two respects, using a first-person perspective in gameplay and combining elements of science fiction with fantasy. This combination has resulted in a cavalcade of games with grandiose open worlds and fascinating mythologies, including the equally popular turn-based spin-off series, Heroes of Might and Magic. More to the point, it's ensured that no one will forget this storied franchise anytime soon. Number 7. Castlevania. To think this all began with a guy whipping monsters. Yet, that was enough to spawn a decades-long franchise based on classic literary creatures, gothic imagery, and a unique blend of combat and platforming. In its 20-plus years of existence, the series has put us through quite a lot. Countless generations of the Belmonts, vampires battling for good, hidden sky castles, and even Dracula himself acting as the hero.
How is it that I've been so defeated?
The forays into 3D have been met with mixed reviews, but the series still seems to enjoy immortal popularity. Number 6. Dynasty Warriors.
Feel the power of my magic!
Who knew ancient history could be so much fun? This cathartic hack-and-slash series, itself a spin-off of Romance of the Three Kingdoms, has found its place in gaming as the go-to franchise for no-holds-barred action. From the outset, Dynasty Warriors established its interest in the Three Kingdoms period of Chinese history, filling its games with plenty of characters based on real people. Add to that the combat focused on cutting through wave after wave of enemies, and there's a nice balance of action and storytelling across the franchise's 40-plus games. Essentially creating a genre for itself, longtime fans might be surprised to know that the first game in the series was a one-on-one fighting game, which is hardly the case anymore. Number 5. Pokemon. Gotta buy 'em all, as they say. Beginning in the mid-90s with 151 of the titular pocket monsters to capture and train, the role-playing series has since grown into a multimedia franchise sporting over 700 different species, and more than 50 games to date. And that's not just the core titles anymore. The side outings have introduced more complex narratives, handheld to console Pokemon trading, and stadium-based combat to the series.
What now? The attack wasn't effective.
Players just can't get enough of this franchise, especially since they're still waiting for a sequel to Pokemon Snap. Number 4. Sonic the Hedgehog. He's the fastest thing alive, and he's still running after 20 years.
Without us? You know how much I like punching things.
Our blue speedster Sonic made his debut on the Sega Genesis, before segueing into numerous sequels expanding on the first game's speed-based platforming. Then there was the shift from 2D to 3D with 1998's Sonic Adventure, which was when Sonic's universe began to fill up with colorful realms and even more colorful characters. From side-scrollers to three-dimensional platformers, and even the odd BioWare-made RPG, this Hedgehog has had quite the lineup, even if his recent titles haven't really kept up the pace.
I love rings!
Number 3. Final Fantasy. Is it tired at this point to make a joke about the final part of Final Fantasy?
Yes.
Well, regardless, here's what you need to know. The series developed by legendary company Square Enix is expansive to say the least. Starting with a relatively straightforward role-playing game, it grew into a years-long franchise renowned for constantly innovating its game mechanics and its elaborate storytelling. At first glance, there only appears to be 14 self-contained games, until one counts the direct sequels, tangential spin-offs, compilations, and occasional remakes. It's nowhere close to being final, if we're being honest.
Tell me, how many years has it been?
Number 2. Mega Man. The Blue Bomber sure isn't lacking for games. The robot hero Mega Man's adventures started in 1987, introducing challenging side-scrolling levels and bosses whose weapons allowed for a rock-paper-scissors approach to combat. Since then, developer Capcom has run wild with the idea. In addition to 10 direct sequels, Mega Man has seen the creation of many acclaimed side series, expanding on the original's design. From X to Zero, each new game has built on this massive and inspiring legacy. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1. Mario. When it comes to size, only one franchise can claim to surpass them all. The adventures of the titular plumber began in 1981's Donkey Kong, and have since branched off into 3 decades worth of sequels and spin-offs. On top of the ongoing Super Mario platform games, Mario has found his way into other genres: kart racing, golf, tennis, soccer, and even medicine. Factor in the games starring Mario's allies and associates, and you have a series with more than 200 games to its name, and counting.
Hey, mamma mia.
Do you agree with our list?
No time for small talk.
What's your favorite franchise with a lot of games? For more sizable top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.